In this video, I will show you how to set up and use the Aviom headphone system and the settings required to use it in Studio 2. When you're going to use the Aviom system for your session, make sure to turn on the A16D before opening your Pro Tools session. This is basically a patch bay for the system and you don't need to worry about changing anything here. The AN16 is the amp for the Avioms, and the signal comes from the outputs of the Avid interface into the amp. From here you can designate each channel to be in mono or to stereo link them. When the switch is to the right under the line, these two channels are stereo linked, and when the switch is to the left, they are in mono. Each channel has signal and clip lights, and don't worry about the bottom row of switches as they have to do with the voltage of the signal, so they are already set to where they need to be. To send signal to the Avioms from Pro Tools, choose one of the 15 Aviom outputs as a send on the channel. If the Aviom outputs say path not available, be sure that the A16D is turned on and check your I/O settings. The fastest way to make sure the settings are correct is to import settings and choose the Studio 2 Rupert Neve settings and apply it to all tabs. When you select the Aviom output to send to, turn up the fader, and it's a good idea to set it to pre-fader so the musician's headphone mix won't be affected by any mixing you do in Pro Tools. If you want to control your send settings without opening each individual send window, you can command-click this little arrow to open the expanded view. Here you can monitor and adjust the send level, you can pan stereo channels, set pre and post fader, and mute them as well. There are actually 16 Aviom channels, but channel 16 has the talkback normaled to it through aux6 on the Neve, so make sure that under the mic, the aux6 is depressed and your mic level is turned up. In order to engage the talkback mic, hold down the talk button and it will turn down the level of everything else being sent. The Avioms are connected and powered through Ethernet. There are Ethernet connections in two breakout boxes, one in ISO-C and the other in Soundhouse-C under the window facing Studio 2. On the Aviom mixer, you can choose which channel to edit volume and panning for. The lights on the buttons will indicate whether your channel is mono or stereo linked. Here I have 1 and 2 in mono, and in mono you can adjust the panning to be anywhere in the stereo field. Here I have 3 and 4 stereo linked, and the indicator light on both channels will show that. When the channels are stereo linked, the panning will affect the width of the stereo field, so when the lights are farther apart, the field is wider, and when they are closer together, the field is narrower. The EQ here is for the master mix, so it can't be set for individual channels, and the master volume will adjust gain for all of the channels. You can daisy chain the Aviom mixers, but the Ethernet only powers one mixer. So in order to daisy chain these, you would have to connect the rest of the mixers in the chain via the Ethernet out and have to power them with the DC power.